Have you ever felt invisible? My guess is that at some point in your life that there has been a time when you have felt invisible or unseen. And actually, a recent study showed that 75% of Americans report feeling unseen or invisible at some point in their lives. And actually, when you go into certain demographics, that number gets even higher. Over 80% of people over 50 report feeling unseen or invisible. And up to 95% of moms report feeling unseen or invisible. So what's the church's response to this? If we have so many people around us who are saying that they don't feel like they matter and they feel unseen, what's our part in this? There's a story in the book of Genesis, chapter 16. There's this woman named Hagar. And Hagar is a victim of circumstances and a situation that she has no control over. She was entrusted to people for her livelihood and for her well-being, and they were supposed to take care of her and to give her what she needed and to do what was best for her. And they didn't do that. They failed her miserably, and they abused her and they mistreated her. And because of this abuse and mistreatment, she had to run, and she ran away. And she runs away, and she finds herself in the wilderness, just by this well. And I imagine she's crying, she's heartbroken, she is frustrated, she feels like so hopeless, and there's nothing she can do, or there's nowhere she can go because nobody notices her or nobody cares. But God actually shows up to her in this moment. He shows up to her right there, and he speaks to her. And he speaks to her heart, and he speaks to her pain, and he gives her hope for the future and hope for her life. And as he is leaving, she says to him, "You are the God who sees me." We serve a God who sees. We serve a God who notices those that feel unseen and mistreated. And we as a church, we exist to make it easier for people to know Jesus. But see, the Jesus of the New Testament, the Jesus that we serve and the Jesus that we followed, he devoted his life to many things. He was preaching and teaching about a new kingdom that was coming. But the people he was teaching and preaching about a new kingdom coming were the people who society told was invisible, and that they didn't matter, and that they were unseen. The orphans, widows, elderly, children, women, the people that he preached to and sought out were uneducated, and the world said they didn't matter and they were invisible. But Jesus sought out the invisible. We serve a God who sees the unseen and who sees the invisible. So if we want to make it easier for the world to know Jesus, if we want to make it easier for people to know Jesus, I think we start by making sure that they're seen. So we ask him to open our eyes. We ask him to help us to see what he sees and see how he sees, so that we can see those that feel invisible, because he is a God who sees us. Love you, church.